Welcome back to Project Live Awake. My name is Jana Nixa, and this channel is all about mastering your mindset, raising your vibe so that you can wake up to all that you truly are. This series is all about tapping into that place of all that you truly are. We're talking about purpose. We're talking about getting out of the box and truly tapping into that part of you. That part of you that you hear that so often gets ignored, that part of you that, spoke to you so much louder as a child, and just over time, it was just told that it wasn't important. This isn't important. This part of me is not important. It's all about, making the grades. It's all about being the best. It's all about making the money. It's all about these outwardly things that are going to make me happy. And I'm going to go after that, full force until I get it. And the problem is we're just chasing our own tail because the joke is on us. All the fulfillment, all of the magic, all of the love, and everything that can make you happy does not exist out here. It is all in here. I heard a long time ago that happiness is an inside job, and I didn't quite understand. At least not early on. I'm like, what do you mean? Of course, if I live on the beach and I've got this, that, and the other. And I'm not saying that those things don't bring happiness, but those are the byproduct of living a fulfilled life on the inside. Because we all know those people who are empty on the inside and have all of the money on the outside. And they're some of the most miserable people we know. And it's because they've lost touch with that part of themselves. And so in this video, I really want to give you some tools to help you. If you resonated, if you didn't watch my last video on just starting to pose a lot of these questions, I would encourage you to watch that first. I'll link it in the description below, and it'll just basically start to set the stage for why we are the way we are. How did we get into this place where we think we should work 40, 50, 60 hours a week at a job that we don't like, making, maybe hardly any money to some money to maybe even good money. But at the end of the day, what is that bringing us? How many of us can sit here and say that we truly feel like we're full in serving our purpose? We have passion for what we do. Gary Zukav says the whole point of a well-lived life is when your personality comes to meet and serve your soul. And so that's really what we're talking about. And that's really where purpose comes from. So a few ways to really start to get in touch with that part of you. The first thing is, if you don't know your purpose, I know that's how I felt after I went through my spiritual awakening. I knew there was more for me. I started to tap back into that intuitive part of myself, but I had no idea what it was. In fact, I remember for a solid year, my husband, who completely didn't understand what was going on at the time, would say, "Now, what is it you want to do?" And I remember saying so many times, "I'm not sure yet, but I think I need to help people." And I had no idea in what capacity. I just knew there was more. I was meant for more. And not more as in better, just more as in more fulfilled, more in touch, serving. And so the first thing I would say to do is you've got to have the courage to even be willing to ask the question if you think there's more. Because there's so many of us that are like, this is what I'm doing, this is who I am, I'm going to stay on my hamster wheel because I'm comfortable here, and this is where I'm going to be. But I would challenge you, put yourself on a rocking chair at 90 years old, and you're looking back at your life. Can you say you really lived your life? That you lived it with passion, that you lived it with joy, that you lived it with love and fulfillment, and all of the things that make a life so special. And for many of you, and I hope that you are those lucky few that got this. and got it early and are just doing it. Kudos to you. But so many of us were sold shit sandwich, so to speak. And it's no fault of our parents. It's just been passed down from generation to generation that this is how we do things here. And they didn't know any better, and I certainly didn't know any better until I did. And so that's why I'm sharing it with you all. And I know there's a lot of you out there. I know there's a lot of you starting to ask these questions. So the first step is the willingness to ask. And so if you're willing to start to ask, if you're willing to look at your life and be open to more, then these things will start to come. The second step is to have the intention. Okay, so now that you're open and you're willing, set the intention that you're going to, I don't want to say find, but really your purpose finds you. Once you open up to the possibility, your purpose will find you. Your job is to be listening. And we listen through meditation. We listen through putting our awareness in our heart. We listen by following the signs. There's been a lot of interesting things that have happened to me. Synchronicities, just strange coincidences, I guess, if you will. Once I started following this more spiritual path. And so if you're willing and you're open and you've set that intention, your passion will find you. You don't have to go searching for it, because that does lead me to step 4. And that is, and I totally was guilty of this, and that's why I'm doing this, you guys, is I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to give you like the Cliff Notes version. So you don't have to take all the detours that I took along the way. And one of those is frantically looking for it, right? Trying. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's going to come to me. Let me meditate. Where are you? Passion. I need my purpose. And people get crazy about it. And this all has to do, we're so trained to use our brain. We're so trained to use control and force and will. And while some of those things work really well for the outside world, when it comes to this inner world, it operates with ease. It operates with present, grounded, calm. It operates with subtle synchronicities that busy person that's on their cell phone and doesn't have time to even stop and smell the roses won't even notice. And so you have to relax with it. You really just have to let it come. And I think part of helping you relax into it is knowing that your first purpose, I'll just tell you, your first purpose, according to Eckhart Tolle, so this can help put everybody at ease, is to be present and to be your authentic self. So that can be lesson number 1. And maybe you need to do some research within on what is your authentic self, because so many of us wear so many different masks depending on who we're talking to, what type of situation we're in, what opinions, how do you want to be seen, and all of these things. And I'm not saying that we don't. I mean, that is part of our outer world. We do have different roles that we play. We do have different ways that we talk to different people, depending on who they are. And so there's nothing wrong with that. However, we do need to be in touch with who our authentic self is and bring that to the table in any situation, whether it is at work, whether it is at home, whether it is with certain friend groups or others or at church. There is an authenticity involved. So that is your first job. And the second part of, finding this purpose, other than the being present and being authentic, is that you have to sort of surrender and trust and realize that, and this is something that I continuously have to remind myself, it's not a destination. It's not finding this passion and then, all is well with the universe and your soul. It's all about the journey. Your passion is your journey. And so always keeping that in mind. And so with that in mind, you're already on your journey. I mean, just listening to this video is putting you on your journey to that part of yourself. So, maybe you don't have a full picture on what it all is, but it will find you as long as you continue on this journey. It will find you, and it will evolve. It may look like one thing one day, and as you continue to pursue it, because clarity does come with action, and as you continue to walk down that path, it opens up to another bigger path. So it does change and it does evolve, and it's not a destination. And I would say, if you do want to get your mind involved in all, this is very much a heart journey, a heart process. I do a lot of heart meditations on this channel, so I would encourage you to go and do and try and continue to do the same meditation, of opening your heart, getting in touch with that part of yourself, because that's really what this inward journey is all about. And certainly your passion as well. That's why they say follow your heart. We don't think about where some of these sayings come from. Following your passion. Think about the song "Row, Row, Row Your Boat." It's just about rowing it downstream. Life is but a dream. And so there's so many clues with things that we just take for granted and never really have thought about. But it is a flow. It is a dream. It is a place of just surrender and trust and just peace. But you got to be willing to get off that hamster wheel. You got to get out of your comfort zone. We don't grow, we don't truly learn within our comfort zone. The only way we've even evolved and had so many of the wonderful breakthroughs in our society that we have is because people pushed the envelope. They got out of their comfort zone. They were willing to look crazy even. And then, of course, they're the hero at the end of the day. So you've got to get out of that comfort zone. Back to, I guess I kind of got off on a tangent there. So the one place I think you could use your brain in this process is, if you want clues, think about what you love from like the ages of 7 to 14. Even do a meditation about it and just set the intention that, bring me back to that place. Bring me back to what used to fill me up. Bring me back to what made me feel alive. And it could have something to do with that. And for me, it wasn't so much that. I guess there was a form of it. I always loved helping my friends. I always loved giving advice. I always just wanted to seek the truth. But it wasn't such an obvious thing. Like, I used to love to paint, and now, it wasn't quite so obvious for me, but maybe it is for you. But you can see it if you really look at it. Like, what were the things that really made you come alive when you were those ages? And it doesn't just have to be hobbies. It can be like, for me, I loved helping people. I loved researching things that seemed a little bit off the beaten path. I always wanted to know more. I was always very curious. I remember I did my college research paper about Area 51, for example, just things along those lines. And so I hope you liked this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button. And I'd love to hear from you. How are these things resonating with you? Are these questions scaring you? Are they exciting you? What other questions can I answer around this? Is anything unclear? Don't forget to subscribe so that you continue to follow along on this journey. And please join us on Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do live meditations right here, and I would love for you to join us. And as always, keep shining your light.